Hello, and welcome to Ngwasheng Maths Online Academy. My name is D Ngwasheng, your math tutor for this channel. Now, today we're gonna do equations part 1. Doing equation part 1, we're gonna focus on simultaneous equation in this video, and then the next part that will be part 2 will accommodate other kinds of equations, be it inequality or quadratic equations, squaring both sides. So yeah, we are dividing them. However, in this lesson, I'm going to start with simultaneous equation, because the simultaneous equation is the one that carry more marks under algebra when it comes to equations. This is the one that carry more marks than any other equations. So now, let us not waste time on this. And make sure you subscribe, you watch till the end. Having two equations like this, we need to label them. That is the first thing. We need to label them. Like equation 1, equation 2. That's labeling. We need to label them. All right. So, for instance, I'm going to label this as equation number 1 and this as equation number 2. Always. Now, let's look at these two equations. What are we looking for? We need to check which equation is less complex between the two. What do I mean by that? The one that looks simpler. By just looking at it, it looks more simpler. It's not complicated. I will say it's equation number 1. Like we can even compare number of terms that we have on equation number 1. 1, 2, 3 terms. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Already, I will think this one is more complex than that. And also look at, I have the highest degree of 2. But this side, the degree that I have is just 1. So now, first thing first, choose the equation that you can work with. So personally, I'll choose y. I'll choose equation number 1. And then when you choose equation number 1, isolate whether x or y. What I mean, make y the subject of the formula or make x the subject of the formula. So now, because I want to choose to work with 1, between y and x, which one can I make the subject of the formula? Yes, I can just choose y to say I want to make y the subject of the formula. That means I must transpose anything to the other side. So this is me now saying, okay, I'm going to take y is equivalent to, remember 12 was already on the other side. So I can say 12 minus 4x. 4 was positive, now because it's on the other side of the equal sign, now it's negative. Now, it is a new equation, which we like to call it equation number 3. Understand this. It is possible to make x the subject, but it's going to be a complex equation. And we know what it does to our learners. They will find themselves making a huge lot of mistakes. So we avoid that. Let's work smart. Now that we have equation 3, what do we do? Follow steps. Tell us what is it that you're going to do. We say substitute equation 3 into equation 2. Talk to me as your marker. I need to follow what you're doing. You chose equation that you can work with, which happened to be equation 1. Then what did you do after? You make y to be the subject of the formula by transposing 4x. Now, that is automatically a new equation which has been created from equation 1, but we call it equation number 3. What do you do from then? We have to substitute the very same equation that we just created into equation 2. Obviously, I cannot substitute equation 3 into 1 because this equation obviously has been derived from equation 1. So we have to substitute in the other equation that we never touched, which is equation 2. Now, after doing so, let's copy the equation. I'm just copying it. as it is. So this is what we have. I just copied equation 2 there. Oh, my minus 3 is not that much visible. So yes, I copy it first. However, some they can just substitute directly, but I prefer to copy it first. Then that's when I can now do the substitution. What does this mean? Wherever I see y, I must put 12 minus 4x. So this is my y. Let me use a different ink. So where is y? Wherever there is y, I must put 12 minus 4x, which is the only y I have is this one. So I'm going to put 12 minus 4x. Remember, this is where y was, but there's no need to put bracket because there's no number that I can multiply with outside. The coefficient of y is 1. So now, look what we did there. Now, I copy everything as it is. Where there was y, now we have 12 minus 4x. So according to this mathematical, now you can just apply algebra. We know that we're doing simultaneous equation, but this is pure algebra. Where now group the like terms if there's any. So now I see that. Let me start with the leading minus 4x squared plus this 8x. 8x goes with minus 4x. So I'm going to put minus 4x. Then what about this 12? I put 12 there, but let me bring that minus 3, which was on the right-hand side, bring it to the left, from negative to positive. So this is what we have. Like I said, it's easy. So now, let's write the result. What is 4? What is 8 minus 4? That is 4. Okay. Now, 12 plus 3, I'm getting a 15. That is the equation that I have. So in this case now, let us factorize. Before we can factorize, now you can see we've got the leading term that is negative. We must get rid of that. And look at our equation. Like, we cannot simplify this. I cannot divide 4 into 15. I'll experience what do you call a decimal answer. So I'd rather just manipulate and divide everything by negative 1. Now we are having 4x squared minus 4x minus 15. We know that if you cannot factorize, you can use what we call a quadratic formula if you cannot factorize. But let me bring it here. We're going to clear it so I can be able to work on it nicely because my space, I'm limited. All right. Now, this is what we should do. Now, remember in the previous video, I think it was grade 11 video, where I was presenting how to factorize a trinomial. Now, this will come in handy. So, let us now say xx. I ignore the 4. Let's take 4 times 15. That's going to be a 60. If I say 4 times 15, that's going to be, that is just another method. Anyone can apply any method that they prefer. So now, 4 times 15, that's 60. Now I'm looking for a factor of 60 that can give me a 4. So if I say 10 times 6, definitely that's 60, right? I'm not looking for factors of 50 in this case. I'm looking for factors of 60 that can give me 4. How did I get 60? We said 4 times 15. If you want more of this now, go and check one of the videos in grade 11 where I was doing factorization. So I covered all this kind of factorization. So I know that we also have like the likes of 30 by 2, like we've got 15 by 4, but we're looking at the factor that can just give us 4. So it happened to be a 10 times 6. So I'm going to put a 10 there and a 6. Now, understand one thing. I didn't want to use 4x times x or maybe say 2x, 2x. So I decided to do this way. But now, because I didn't use this 4 when I find factors, I have to divide my factors by 4. The very same 4 that I used to multiply my 15 to get a 60, I use it also to divide the terms that the factors that I got. Now, in terms of the sign, if they're both negative, one of them must be positive, one of them must be negative. Now, it applies as well to say the bigger one will take the sum of the middle term. So I'm going to have a minus there and then a positive there. So if we simplify, let me simplify this. Or I can just say, because I have to transpose this, it's supposed to be like 10 over 4. And when you transpose this, it's going to be negative 6 over 4. But let's simplify. 2 goes into 2 into 10 goes 5 times into 4 goes twice. And then this side, we are having like 2 into 6 goes 3 times, but into 4 goes twice. Now, we automatically got the x part of it. Remember, simultaneous, we're doing x and y. We already have the x. So what do we need now? We just need to find the y values. And lucky, we have this. It's ready-made. Y is the subject. So we're just going to plug the values of x here separately. So now, for y, I will say this. We've got 12 minus, or another y also. We're going to say 12 minus. Then this is where I'm going to put the x values. The space that I left there is for the y x values. So now my first x value according to this, now I'm going to put a 5 over 2. And the other one, I'm going to put a negative 3 over 2. So let's do maths. We already have our x there, 2 of them. When it's simultaneous, especially we come across a quadratic, expect 2 x values and 2 y values. So in this case, let us find out the answer. Obviously, I will just have like something like 12, 5 over 2. This side, I will have negative and negative, which will be positive. That will be 3 over 2. Now you can just punch your calculator or do it manually to tell us what is the answer. So by that, we are done with it. That is the end of it. So let me see what is 12 minus. I know we can do that manually. Minus 12. So yeah, actually, let me work on it manually. So we are having a 2 there. When we cross multiply, 12 times 2, that's 24. Minus 1 times 5, that's 5. Therefore, when we take out 5 from here, the final answer will give us a 19 over 2. Check me, you can correct if I'm wrong somewhere. I can't see my calculator. I wanted to use it. So we said 1 times 2 is 2. Then cross multiply, start with the right hand side, where we say 12 times 2 is 24. 1 times 5 is 5. Therefore, what is 25 minus that? We only take 1 from 20. So it end up with 19 over 2. Now, same applies to this one. I'm going to say 2 here. So say 1 times 2 is my LCD. And then 2 times 12, that's 24 again. And then 1 times 3, that is a 3. Then it gives us 27 over 2. Excuse me. Yeah, that's it. That is the first problem. It ends there. Any question, please, on the comment section. I want to proceed with the next one. All right, let's proceed with the last problem. This is exam based, by the way. 7 marks. This problem is 7 marks. You can check in one of the past papers for South African learners. It's from one of the Blue Solution, a book known as a Blue Solution. So now let's see. This is the highest that they can go. As you can see, now they decided to give you one of the equation as exponential. So there is a lesson based on the exponent, also on the grade 11. Please go and check that out. Perfect yourself so that when it comes to simultaneous, because one thing for sure, every question paper, you will come across a simultaneous equation. But let's see how best can we deal with this. Again, let's look at what we have. Many ways to do this. A learner can just say, wherever you see y, put this, and there's my y. I can still put that. You need to be good with the exponent. I can just plug this, the whole thing here. That means now I have to manipulate 81 to have a base of 3. So that I'll have the same base, then I'm going to deal with the exponent or the index. Or another way, just simplify this, and then we can also take the, just change this into exponential. So we can have the same base and take this one as your solution to work with. So now again, it doesn't change the fact that I need to label them equation 1, equation 2. I decide, personal choice, I decide to deal with equation 1. Let me simplify equation 1 so that I can work with. So equation 1 is 3 to the power y. And then what is the exponential form of 81? With an influence of 3, definitely the base of this number, it should be 3. So we can check 3 to the power 1 is 3, 3 to the power 2 is 9, 3 to the power 3, that's 27, 3 to the power 4, that's 81. So obviously I'm going to use this. Remember, there was an exponent of x. Now two exponents together, we just say they give us 4x. Now look at this. We expected this since we are talking exponential. Therefore, we consider this as our new equation, which we're going to label as equation 3. That is another method, especially if we are talking exponents. All right. Now, let me bring it here. So what do we do? Like the first one, we said, once you created the third equation, now you need to now tell us or do this. Substitute equation 3 into 2. It's not like it's a pattern to follow. If I decide to choose equation 2 to work with, that equation 3, I was going to say substitute equation 3 into 1. So it's not like it's a pattern of some sort. So now always follow that. Now, let me copy equation 2. This is my equation 2. We've got 3 there. Now, let us substitute. We said where there is y, let's put 4x. There is my y. I'm going to put what? 4x. Now we know from here, can celebrate. Done. Unless your algebraic skills is not good, then you're going to make mistake that will cost you. So make sure you are perfect when it comes to algebra itself. So now, as you can see, I just want to group these because these two are like terms. So I'm going to bring 4 to the right, which it was positive, now negative, and then I have that. So it just gives me a quadratic. So two negative numbers, we add to them, however, the sign remains the same. So now, again, just like the previous ones, where we were factorizing, I applied the previous method because of the coefficient of x squared. On the first one, it was 4, but now because it's 1, I can just go straight and do what we know most. More lesson on factorization of a quadratic, they are on one of the videos under grade 11. You can just follow. There's a playlist for grade 11 where you can just go and watch. So we explain that when you've got a negative here and a positive, all signs will be negative, simply because negative times negative must give you the last term of positive. So I did explain thoroughly on that. So remember, now we're talking simultaneous. I'm not here to teach how to factorize. There's a lesson for that. So here we just want to master how to solve for simultaneous equation. So obviously, now I'm looking at factors of 9. That can give me 10. Obviously, there's nothing other than 9. So 9 times 1 or 3 times 3. But we know these two, whether I'm adding them or I subtract, they'll never give me a 10. But these two, if I say 9 plus 1, I'll get a 10. So I'm going to use 9 and 1. So automatically, it gives us 9 or x. Automatically, I'm going to transpose that. So yes, these are our x values. Now, for us to proceed to get the y values, let's consult equation 3 because it's ready made. Y equals to something. It's ready made. So I'm going to use this. Having two values of x lead to two values of y. So this side, I'm going to use a 9. This side, I'm going to use a y. Where there is x, I'm going to use 9 there. And then here, where there is x, I'm going to use 1. So obviously, the answer is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. This side, 4 times 9, that will be 36. Done. This is simultaneous equation, my good people. So the next, this video will end here. This lesson is little based. I just wanted to keep it short. It will be based on, this is just simultaneous equation separately, which is part 1. Grade 11, grade 12, this is beneficial for all of you. So I'm going to do part 2. Just look out for part 2. Thank you for watching.